Hello, welcome to OEG Live, and that's our new snazzy intro video by my colleague Mario Badia. I was really liking that, so thank you, Mario. And this is the very first one of these live stream events that we're running for Open Education Week. We have about 12 of them next week, but I thought it'd be a good idea to run a couple of previews this week, especially because we're doing some new things with Open Education Week. And I'm very pleased to have with us back on the show Suzanne Grimm from OERInfo in Germany, and we're here to talk about the OER World Map. So welcome to the show again.
Hi, Ellen. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, excellent. So we want to make this quick because we want to give people a sense about what we're asking to be done for Open Education Week. But I'm just going to start with a little bit of a walkthrough of what I hope that we're doing. Of course, Open Education Week, and hopefully everybody knows where that is on the internet. And as years pass, it always evolves around. The big part is adding events to the calendar, distributed events, and that's the big part of it. But one thing that we've done over the years traditionally was we collected what we call open assets. And so from like 2012 to 2 years ago, we would ask people to put things in a web form, and they would share websites and OERs and post. And it's a typical thing that you do. And so we have this little database here, which is fine, but there's so many repositories and databases that I kind of been introducing a new idea that instead of putting it in our little database, why not use existing ones around the world? And so for this year, we're doing an effort and focusing on two different places where you can share your work. One is OER Commons. We'll hear about that later in the week. But the one that I'm really excited to talk about, and Suzanne is here, is to talk about the OER World Map. And so do you want to say a few words, Suzanne, about what the map is for anybody who possibly doesn't know about it?
Yeah, sure. By the way, I really like that share pic, and I also use it in every meeting I have actually around OEWeek. So what's the OER World Map about? The OER World Map likes to bring people in open together and enable people who work in open and people who are interested in topics around openness, gather information and find people in open to and their organizations to enable networking, to find projects and services, tools and even policies to get inspired and encouraged and to learn from each other. Last time we met, I believe that was around the Open Education Global Conference last year. We showed how to browse and search the OER World Map via Zoom functions and search functions. Now, I was talking about what you can do on the OER World Map without even registering, finding people, services, tools, etc. in open. But today we wanted to concentrate on how to get information on the map, since the map is relating on the efforts of everybody from the community.
Right. And we want to cover the map with a lot more dots. That's my goal.
Exactly.
And so when you come to this page on the OEWeek website, we have the basic information. The first start is, you're going to create an account on the OER World Map, and we're going to walk you through these steps, and then sort of like what the ask is that we're doing for Open Education Week. And so I'm going to jump right in and give people a sense, because one thing I think that's interesting, and what's different about this is we're not putting OERs themselves on the map. We're putting all the things necessarily around them, institutions and services, as Suzanne described, that make them available. And so, but by creating an account on Open Education Week, I'm going to go to my, so I've created an account, and if I go to my personal profile, and this is what happens when you create an account, you of course list your name, and I have a generic one, Open Educator. And so your location, this is all about you, but there's other information that you can put about yourself, and you can, explore these. But one of the things that you can first do is come down, and I'm getting down to where am I? I'm missing member of. Okay, so you put your affiliation in here, and so what you can do is list the university, the organization that you're part of, and it indicates who you're affiliated with. So I might put in the fact that long ago, I worked for the Maricopa Community Colleges, and I can see that they already exist. So, and I could add that, but Maricopa is a system of multiple colleges. And I say, well, wait a minute. I used to work for Phoenix College. And so I can't add them yet, but we'll show you how to do it. So you can come back later if your affiliation doesn't exist. And you can have multiple ones, right? So you can say that you are part of Open Education Global, and that will be sort of listed in the OER World Map and your profile. The other thing that we want you to do in your profile is that to indicate that you're part of Open Education Week this year. So I'm going to start typing in Open Education Week. Look, it comes up, the first one. So by doing this, you're indicating that you're part of this year's events, and you're sort of a affiliate of Open Education Week. So I'm going to, this is what you do when you first create an account on the OER World Map. And this means that you actually become a node on that map, if you will. And somewhere in here, I will find, look, there I am. So I can find myself. Everything on the map view is organized by country. And this we already went over before, how you can sort of go in and find things. But we really want to focus on adding things to the map. And so obviously, the things that you go about doing are possibly your own projects, and the kind of things, and maybe you can help me, Suzanne, to talk about the things that can be added under these. Are the broad categories, and maybe that will help understand what these are. So can you elaborate on what the way these are organized, and what they, where people might start?
So yeah, what I wanted to say before that is that we talked about in the last demo that you don't even need to register to be able to browse the map and to search certain information, but to add yourself to the map and to add other organization services and so forth to the map, or even edit existing entries, you need to register. So via login, you are going to either reset your passport if you already have an account, or if your email maybe changed during that time, you can always send an email to us via our support email, support@oerworldmap.org, and we are going to change your email in the backend. Right, and of course, you are going to get an email, and you have to confirm your login, and then you will be able to enter the map as an editor, as an author, and you can see what Ellen showed you via me. You can I share my screen?
Sure.
Okay, I need to log in first.
Yeah, that's fine. And while you're doing that, I wanted to, because I went very fast, is that just by creating an account, you're adding to the map, and that's quite wonderful.
Right. Absolutely, exactly. So if you register to the map, I already said you have certain rights. We are following the Wikipedia principle here. You have not only the right to add information on the map, but you also have the right to edit existing entries, to add more information, to further enhance the information on the single entries. So via me, you can enter your profile, go back if it's needed, and to enter a certain more information on you. But you also can enter your existing entries, your likes, your lighthouses, the events you're attending, and the affiliations that that Ellen already showed at you. He also showed you the possibility to not only enter mandatory information and quickly at hand information. What I find really interesting is that you always have the possibility to, like, for example, if you enter a short, you're asked to enter a short biography. So others have the possibility to get an idea about what you're working on. You can enter those informations in several languages. I think that enhances the exchange of people worldwide. We're asking for a location. It doesn't have to be exact, but it helps to locate the entry on the map.
I want to say like probably the basic you need is city country.
Right,
For
exactly.
yourself, like if you're putting like a university or an organization, you probably want an exact street address.
Yeah.
But I would suggest just putting your country and the closest city.
Yeah, that's enough. We're asking about for a primary educational sector. That's all for the filters, actually, and for the statistics afterwards. We're asking for a person type. Now, we don't want to know if you're an extroverted or an introverted person. We want to know your person type around the context of OER. You can choose by multiple options, opening the drop-down. And we are asking for contacts. You can enter social media profiles, publications, tags, and what Ellen also showed you. What is interesting to interconnect the entries with each other. You can search for events you're attending or you're even speaking at, and you can enter your memberships, organizations. You can enter or you can search for events that you're organizing. If the events don't exist yet as an entry, of course you have to enter the event first. And what's also interesting are policies you are co-author and or co-publisher, or even awards that you won. So you asked about the types of entries we are gathering at the OER World Map. The types of entries are based on schema.org. We are, of course, asking for the organizations that you are interconnected with. We're asking for services, projects, and tools that you maybe are connected with. We're collecting policies and events. And all these entries, as I said, can be intertwined with your personal profile. Now, especially in Germany, we're collecting events because the OER World Map. So we have at our platform OERInfo, we have a OER calendar, and the entries on that OER calendar are based on the entries of the OER World Map. What we basically do is that we ask the German community to enter their events into the OER World Map, which serves us time and the organizers of the events know best what they would want to spread, what information they would want to spread.
Excellent. And it's very helpful. And there's obviously a lot there. And we really want you to spend some time exploring all this. But you can enter things through your profile. But let's say you enter open education. Let's see if I can type very fast. So we can find Open Education Week 2025. It should be here. Yeah, OEWeek 25. And so you can, if you can find, here's the entry for Open Education Week. What you can do, and I've already done this, this is the other way you can create an affiliation. So if there is an event, you can say, I'm attending, I'm presenting. And then what happens is you can see how it creates those associations with the people who interact with it. And that's really part of the powerful thing that makes it interconnected. So one of the things that we want to ask you to do, if you don't do it through your profile, is to find Open Education Week and say, I'm attending, or you can say I'm presenting. It doesn't matter. And as well, if you want to say, affiliate yourself with Open Education Global, because everybody loves OEG. You can find us on the map, and we will see that comes up. Maybe my internet might be a little bit. Let's find if I can find Open Education. You can see what a terrible typist I am. Global, and so here we are. We have Open Education Global, and then you can see well, these are all people who are affiliated with Open Education Global, and I think it's listed under United States, unfortunately, because that's where our office is located. And look at me, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting right to it, but I know it's in here, right? So I'm going to cheat a little bit and go back to our instructions page here. And under here, we have a link that's for Open Education Week. And we wanted to say, add yourselves to Open Education Global. This is actually, I got the wrong event. But we're in here, trust me. Open Education Global, Open Education, here it is. There's lots of ways to get places. So if you can find Open Education Global on the OER World Map, you can say, I'm a member, and we lose the member loosely. If you're a friend, we can say you're a member. We don't care. You can like us. We like being liked. I'm sure that factors somewhere into the algorithmic mix of what it does, but it also indicates things that you're very, pretty much a fan of. But really, we want to talk about is what you do to add things. And we kind of talk obviously you add things that you're involved with, but you can add things that just aren't on the map. So as you're participating in Open Education Week and you hear about a project or you hear about a policy, you can sort of make the map better by adding right to it. So I spent some time looking here, and I noticed that, there's places that have no green. And that means there are countries that don't have any information with them. And so I could say Honduras. I'm sure there are some things available from Honduras that are in there. And Wikipedia can indicate to me that there's the National University of Honduras. And actually there's 12 or 15 universities in Honduras that really should be on the map. So these are things you can do if you're dedicated, or again, if you come across a resource that you can come back to the OER World Map, and you can say, you can go to the ad, and this is an organization, and then I would add the information, and I'm not going to do it because you saw how bad my typing was, to put the National University of Honduras on the map. You can copy it. I don't speak Spanish, but I can go to their website or Wikipedia and copy it and put it in there. And then other people can come along and improve it. And that's also something to wrap your head around, is that in many ways, the OER World Map is like a wiki, and it's built upon wiki principles that you can add to it. So what we're asking is that during Open Education Week, as you're coming across interesting resources, so I looked at and saw this event that came in from this university in Croatia, and they have a digital repository. So if I was highly motivated, I could come in and get the information for this. I might have to use a little bit of translation help to understand it, but I can add things to the map that maybe necessarily I'm not directly involved with, but if I'm really motivated, and I hope that you are, that we can make the map better. So what, again, it all comes back to knowing the thing that you want to add, going in to the place where you add things, and thinking about organizations are obvious. Services, help me, what are some examples of services, Susan? That would be
I'm already again muted. If you go, if you hover over find, you can look all the services up. You can
Okay.
see that
Yeah,
there's
Rob. Perfect.
repositories, repertories, authoring tools, and a lot more.
Yeah.
So services, as you said in the beginning, we're not collecting single OER on math or biology. We're collecting services that offer OER. So services can be anything from repository, repertory to a single content source. We also gathered that, but in general, I think it is for people who search for platforms easier to find existing OER via repositories and repertories.
Right. And obviously there, this, I'm glad you mentioned this. This is pretty help satisfactory. There's a lot of things I'm sure that we're going to see that people know about or come across this week that are projects, and of course tools, the tools that we use for our open education work. So mostly the one thing I want to do is, like, let's say I'm going to add a tool to this mix. And so it's got all the information, and you can figure out everything and where it comes from, the organization or person who created it, and those sort of things. I would encourage, if you don't mind, if you come down and anything that you add during Open Education Week, if you can add a tag of OEWeek 25, that's going to sort of be a thing that we can sort of collect and say, these are all the things that were added during Open Education Week. Because what we're hoping to do is to find things. And so you can filter things that are associated by that tag. And let's see if I can find OE.
That's something we're already working on, Alan. You told us about that, and we already saw the problem. The filter functions are, you have to scroll down a lot if there is a lot of information under the filters. So we're right now working on the possibility to type a tag and autocorrect the tag.
I have a link for it. So now, so far, there's just a couple, because this has been Alan, adding things so far. So what we would like is to add many more things to the Slick map view, and this would show collectively the kind of impact that we've been able to do collectively during Open Education Week. So, can you think of anything, Suzanne, that I've left out here? Because I went a little bit quick and off.
No, I think that's basically it. First of all, get in interaction with the map, set up a profile, set up entries for your organizations and services, and interconnect them with OEWeek as you also mentioned, it would be great that if others do entries on services or tools, for example, that you are not directly affiliated with. What I do is that I'm always on social media. We're always on social media, and always whenever I find a really great project, I take the time to enter it into the map, especially if it's from countries that are not yet represented at the map, because I'm quite certain that I don't believe that there is no projects in the white spaces that you can see on the map.
Oh, we know that. It's because the world is that big, and trying to get a global map is a huge job. And we're so happy that OERInfo has sort of brought this great resource back to life and is putting some new energy into it. So we really applaud that effort.
Yeah, we're working on AI solutions for the map as well, but I also want to go forth with the interaction with the community, and we're also working on protocols to enter bigger data from other actors into the map. What we haven't talked about today is the ways to extract information, data from the OER World Map to use it for your own services, and we also didn't talk about statistics, which is another function of the OER World Map. So maybe we can do another demo.
Yeah. Hopefully, if we get a lot of activity, we'll be able to. I do have a link on our site to show the statistics for our tag, but they're kind of small right now because it's only the 4 things that Alan kind of slipped in there. And so the big effort is to get a lot of people or many people interested in adding things to the map. Ideally, I mean, you could work this into some kind, of research assignment for people who are studying either, information or open education. Like there's more than enough things out there that need a little bit of effort to get placed onto the map.
We're actually talking about that. We have a student assistant who is doing the most work at the OER World Map. She's also doing a lot of how-tos on the OER World Map, spreading it via social media. But I talked to several players in Germany. I talked about to several players in other countries, and I think since we all have a lot of things on our plate, it would be a great idea to get students into that work and to be able for them to show their activities in open. That's something we're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share this is from our T-shirt. Open is everybody's business. From the OE Global 24 conference, and this is what it's about. And so it's something to learn to understand the map. You don't have to become an expert in it, but we really hope that you are interested enough to create your account and maybe add something that you are sharing or come across this Open Education Week.
Show what you are working on.
Yeah, and then we'll look at the stats after we're done. So thank you again so much, and I hope this helps a little bit with what the ask that we're doing, and we'll add the recording of this to the website for people who want to follow along. And